Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever and wherever you. And welcome back to the Beta Plan, playing Planescape Torment. And well, we just defeated the evil necromancer, so I'm thinking it's time to talk to a ghost, to talk and get ourselves some rewards from the dusties, and well, perhaps just a little bit more. We have a skull in here. Yeah, don't need that.
Alright.
At least I don't think I want that. I am not a necromancer. I cannot yet raise the dead. As you step into the corridor, the guardian spirit materializes before you. Its ghostly countenance regards you benevolently. I thank you. You have done me a great service. The spirits of my charges sleep quietly once again. Go in peace, friend. The apparition fades away, leaving you alone in the deserted halls of the mausoleum.
Updated my journal.
My skills have increased.
And
What's up?
apparently even Mord got himself a little upgrade. Well, you know what, Mord? I think it is time for a celebration and a little bit of rest. After all, we went through nearly my entire spellbook, and Dak'kon...
In enduring, grow strong.
Dak'kon went through his entire spellbook, so yes, we could use a little rest. So why shall we not have a little rest, eh?
Done.
Oh. That actually properly startled me there. I got a little jump scare for that. Did not expect that. And now that we cleared it all out, apparently all the skeletons that were raised are gone, which is quite good. I'm looking for the exit though, to be honest. Thank you for the bandage. More or less, we are now looting after we have helped the ghost. The ghost is gone, and then we say, okay, now that the ghost is gone, we can rob all the shinies. Actually, I see a long-ass corridor that we haven't visited yet. And we are adventurous, so we are going to loot the corpses. No, is it mutilate the corpses? It's mutilate the corpses to get the levels, right? Right. Anyone know Munchkin? No? Oh, then that reference.
Alright.
This probably sounds really, really weird, but that's a card in Munchkin. Mutilate the corpses. Or just whine with the DM in order to get an extra level.
I'm done.
But yeah, there are still some goodies in here. And now that the ghost is gone, we are going to loot all his gone. Whoa, his what did he call it? Brothers, I think. Sisters. But he said I could go in peace, so I am kept in peace, and I can just loot everything. I am not completely amoral, absolutely not. This is just my just reward, I would say. Oh. A just reward that is denied to me because I can't carry it all.
Done.
Thank you, some more bandages. So,
Yeah,
can you two come over here? Thank you. I don't have the inventory space to carry all of this. Dak'kon, where are you? Because I kinda need you. Yeah, there you are. There you are. And if you're wondering why Dak'kon is still shining and glowing white at times, well, that's because that spell that he casted on himself to increase his strength is still active on him. Don't worry, he is not coming down with grayscale or whatever, not.
Done.
There we go. Oh, yeah, another spell went off. But as we're going to take a rest anyways. I think we've earned it. So let's give all good old fellows some rest, shall we? I do believe that Mort expressed a desire to chat up the ladies. You know what? Skull, green lady. The seems just perfect. White, green, it matches well. You see a tired-looking woman dressed in a tight leather bodice and leggings. The odor of cheap perfume surrounds her like a cloud, and her face is covered with a mask of crude makeup. She smiles as she sees you. Why don't you stay and chat with me a bit, my love? And greetings. The woman looks coyly at you. Now, you look to be a blood who's lost something. Maybe I can help you find it, Cutter? She smiles slightly. Oh, what good fortune! We probably lost what we were looking for back at your kit, miss. Maybe you can help me find me what I'm missing, miss. And her tone becomes businesslike. I love. Now there's a matter of a finder's fee. Forget it, I had some questions. I'm not a touch, she frowns, then rubs two fingers together. Unless you get a jink to pay for my time. I can pay how much I can actually, never mind. Your laws, actually. Your laws, when you get tired of losing things and need to find some things love, you come see me. Chief, can you sport me drink? It's, been a long time, it has. Ooh. I was thinking of doing that already immediately for Mort, but it takes, well, apparently a little bit of coaxing before he gets the nerve. Oh, well, I suppose it can't hurt. But I'm not even going to ask how you intend to accomplish this. The woman breaks in. It's twice the cost for the Mimir, or any other degenerate. Mimir? Mimir's talking encyclopedia. Yeah, that's me, Chief. I see, well, don't sweat it. From the looks of her, I'm probably saving you from dying twice. May a pox shrivel your innards. You have the stinking fashion sense of a goatherd and you're twice as ugly.
New taunts, alright.
Mort stares, hypnotized, as the Harlots lose a stream of obscenities. At the end of the verbal avalanche, Mort is silent for a moment and turns to you. Wow, Chief. Got a few more taunts for the old arsenal. He turns back to the harlot, who is catching a rev. I'm also in love. And you see, well, more or less, I didn't think it was worth a jink indeed, because I have no idea how Mort was going to accomplish that. And then I said, well, never mind, let it be. And then apparently, when I twice said no to her, kinda get annoyed. Oh well. Time to head for the Dusties. Because we want some jink. Who was it again that we did this for? I think Gravesend? Yeah, he is talking about the fact that we made him surrender a contract before. Sorry, sometimes I read and then I forget that I actually need to read out loud, because I know, at least if some of my watchers are like me, sometimes you have a video background and you like to know what's going on. Ah, Moltentai frowns as you approach, clucking his tongue, sorry. You again. Have you come to make me surrender more contracts in the name of the Dustman faction? He frowns and sighs. Well, no matter, the past is past. He regains his old smile and nods at you. What is it? Can I do for you? Nope. Pearl, Mortai. Who was it that we went into this for? Oh, back west, please. Look into the matter of Norich, or however I pronounce his name. Where are you? You are in here, aren't you? Yes, there you are. I have found out what was going on in the mausoleum. The dead sleep again.
Updated my journal.
Nordoff's lines of worry smooth out as you speak. Thanks, give on. He reaches into his robe and draws forth a small bag, which he hands to you. Copper coin, 100. Thanks. Glad I could help. That's actually kind of peanuts for us now. Or at least it's starting to get peanuts, because we're starting to accrue some kind of a decent amount of jink. In fact, off camera, I think I'm going to sell a few stuff, because we have quite a few things we can sell. But first, I think it is time for some good old chat with...
What is your will?
Dak'kon. Now, if you want some action in this video, this is where it's going to get a little slower, but where we can get a lot of XP. I told about this before, that Dak'kon, well, every companion out in this game is really good. Every companion is flashed. Even Mort here, that seems shallow, trust me, when the game goes on, his shallowness will dissipate a bit. And he will show why he seems so shallow. Every character, every NPC has a background from here to there, and you can dive into that. I'm sure that some of my watchers will enjoy that. Let's get into Dak'kons. Can I talk about your teachings? Can you teach me about anything about the art, Dak'kon? No, he says no. Know that the way of the people is not the same as the art you have come to know. It is not the energy that gives strength, it is knowing the self that gives strength. The teaching of Zurdamon speak of such things. Would you teach me the way of the Zurdamon, Dak'kon? Do you know what you asked? The texture of Dak'kon blades flows until it becomes a stone. To walk the path of Zurdamon, you must know of the people. The knowing of such things by one not of the people is a difficult matter. There are those not of the people who have heard the way of Zerdamon, but they do not know the way. Dak'kon, I want to know of the people and know Zerdamon's teachings. I want power, just tell me, you darn old git. I believe there is wisdom to be learned in such things.
Updated my journal.
And as you see, I had to take this answer. If I don't take this answer, but the short one, I want to learn, he would not have taught me. And that is because we have enough wisdom and enough intelligence. Know that I have heard your words and I shall test them. To learn you must know the people. To know the people you must know the unbroken circle of Zerdamon. Dak'kon holds up the stone disc in its position and his spider-like fingers hook into its sides. As a click and the blades of the circle slide into a new configuration. He reverses the motions, sealing the stone. Know the first circle of Zerdamon is open to you. Study it, then I will hear your words. I will read the first circle then, and in the meantime I had other things I would know. So this is how you can talk with Dak'kon about it. You can unlock circles with him. And the more circles you unlock, the more you will get access to his very special spells that are otherwise unobtainable. But that is where it ends, you would say, right? No. That's only where it gets deeper. I would like to know something about your travels. Well, our travels, sorry, by the way. His travels. I have some questions about the Gitzerai. I have some questions about the Gitzerai language. Can you teach me the ways in which your people speak? Well, he teaches me.
Updated my journal.
Which gives me a little bit of XP. Apparently, the Gitzerai talk in metaphors, if you would will. That's how I would describe it. A wise man is said to have wrote the Book of Anarchs, while to accuse another of treason is to remember Villiger's eye. It is said of generous people that their cupboards are bare. Common greetings include Hail Swordringer and Zerek's skin bow to you. To which one should respond, and the traveler is pleased. They have some weird ways of talking. They always call, for instance, Silicon Heart over here. It is of Torgai's table. There is a lot of metaphors and references to their history. There are other things I would know, however, about the Gitzerai. What is that? Let me say, I don't know exactly know. You seem to place an emphasis on knowing. Why? All things, whether structure or flesh, their existence is defined by the knowing of themselves. And if a man does not know himself, we have talked about this before, but I think I can go a little deeper into it now. Oh, right, no, I can't go deeper into that thing. Let's talk about his blade. It's a Karach blade. It's an object that lets others know on the rank of the wielder. We know it's of a strange metal. We know what rank it signifies. Yes, there we go. Dak'kon falls silent for a moment, as if searching for the correct words. In your tongue, the closest translation is chaos matter. The people may shape it with their thoughts. Move it with their thoughts. I probably will also run down this road again. I need to find the right road. I must say I'm quite looking at it now as somewhere. I think that is later probably when it comes around. I kind of remember. Oh, let's talk about Sigil. After all, that is the place they're in. About time that we question him a bit about it, because we can't remember. It is known by the name Sigil. Among the people, it is known as the city that does not know itself. It doesn't know itself? What do you mean? A city exists, but it does not know itself. In not knowing itself, its existence is flawed. How is it flawed? The city's existence is on the opposition to itself. It has set itself apart from the planes, yet it seeks to be everywhere at once. Its walls are doors, yet it keeps these doors locked. Such an existence tells of a thing that does not know itself. In not knowing itself, it is flawed. Now we can start talking about philosophy. When the city, what if the city is not flawed? And a thing does not need to be ordered and have a purpose to know itself. What if these contradictions are strengths that you cannot see? Or we can say, what if the city is not flawed and you do not know the reason for its contradictions? There is an order in everything. Perhaps there is an underlying pattern you cannot perceive. This is, of course, a lawful action. This is the truth. This truth is the chaos action. Well, I hardly ever think that a contradiction is very sensible, and even if there is a pattern, even if there's a reason for it, it's probably because of a pattern. Perhaps a self-defense mechanism for people that, I don't know, contradict themselves on opening up, or perhaps they're trying to tell you a white lie because they have a little surprise for you, and where have you not. So I'm just gonna say this. To your question, what if the city is flawed and you see its contradictions all around you? To your question, you claim the city's existence is flawed. You have accepted this rather than explore the possibility that something greater may exist. That suggests you are flawed, and that you do not search for knowledge, but only for a convenient answer. Dak'kon falls silent. There is no knowing the answer to the question we've asked. Yet the city exists, that is all. Yet I will maintain that we know ourselves by the questions we ask and the ones we do not. We cease asking questions and accept only what we can perceive. And I very much agree with that. Voila! And there we gain some experience because we just discussed philosophy in a role-playing game. And we will cease to know ourselves. Dak'kon's voice has changed something slightly. It becomes heavier. Such words have been spoken before. I've heard them, know them. Where have you heard them? The words are mine. Once I knew them and knew their meaning. I had forgotten them until you spoke. Dak'kon's gaze travels through you, and his blade stops shimmering, bleeding of all color until it's translucent. Dak'kon, how is it I know your words? I spoke the words, but they do not belong to me. Others may know them, for the knowing of it lies within all things. Humans call it wisdom. Very well, there are other things I would like to know. I think that will come later, when we actually can talk to him a little bit more about, well, this ring of him, the unbroken circle of Zermon, which we can use, and which we can use to unlock the first plate. When we mirror his motions, we all of a sudden have the ring in our hands, and we can read it. Know that we are the first people. Once all was chaos. The first people were drawn from chaos. When the first people came to know themselves, they were chaos no longer and became flesh. With their thoughts and knowing of matter, the people shaped the first world and dwelled there within their knowing to sustain them. Yet the flesh was new to the people, and with it the people came not to know themselves. The flesh gave rise to new thoughts, greed and hates, pains and joys, jealousies and doubts. All of these fed on each other, and the minds of people were divided. In their division, the people were punished. The emotions of the flesh were strong, the greeds and hates, the pains and joys, the jealousies and doubts. All of these served as a guiding stones to enemies. In becoming flesh, the first people became enslaved to those who knew flesh only as tools for their will. No, these beasts were known as the Illitids. The Illitids were a race that had come not to know themselves. They had learned how to make other races not know themselves. They were the tentacled ones. They lived in flesh and saw flesh as tools for their will. Their blood was water, and they shaped minds with their thoughts. When the Illitids came upon the people were people no more. The people became slaves. The Illitids took the people from the first worlds and brought them to the false worlds. And the people labored upon the false worlds. The Illitids taught them the way of the flesh. Through them, the people came to know loss. They came to know suffering. They came to know death, both of the body and the mind. They came to know what it is to be the herd of another and have their flesh consumed. They came to know the horror of being made to feel joy in such things. The unbroken circle is knowing of how the people lost themselves and how they came to know themselves again. Slide the plates closed and seal them. Now, now we can talk to Dak'kon again.
What is your will?
And talk about what we have read. And we can discuss it, because he wants to know, what did you came to know? Now, there are all different answers, and depending on your intelligence again and wisdom, you can answer different things. The answer you always want to give is the first answer in order to progress. Strength lies in knowing oneself. I learned that once someone does not know themselves, they are lost. They become tools for others.
Updated my journal.
And voila! That gives us experience. And then he says, you've come to know the first circle. You not only see the words of Zertamon, you've come to know them. And Dak'kon holds up the circle and hooks his fingers around the edges. There's a click, and the plates of the circle slide into a new configuration. He refers to motion, sealing the stone. Know the second circle of Zertamon is open to you. Study it, and I will hear your words. Very well, I will read it, and then we will speak again. Now I can show this all on camera, and I said before, I think some of my marchers might like that, but I kind of would like to know if you want me to do stuff like that, because it is kind of like a lot of reading. And I love it. I love the fact that we are discussing here philosophy, and it makes me giddy with excitement that actually there is an RPG that dares and do such things to this detail, and that gives Dak'kon so much more background, so I think it should be in there. But I may want to title these videos like about that, because this video already is very lengthy about it.
Done.
So, we have had to give Mort some little love by allowing him to talk with the Harlots, and well,
I'm gone.
That didn't go too well. Then we have had some discussion with Dak'kon, but I think it's time to put some more action into the video. Then again, it may already be too late now, I realize. You know what? Let's just read it now. I think that is just fine. We'll use it. And we go into unlocking the second circle. Know that the flesh cannot mark steel. Know that steel may mark flesh. In knowing this, Zertamon became free. Know that the tentacled ones were of flesh. They relied on the flesh and used it as tools for their wills. One of the places where flesh served their will was a field on the false worlds of the Illitids. The fields were where the bodies of the people were cast after the Illitids had consumed their brains. When the brain had been devoured, the husk came to be fertilizers to grow the poison-stemmed grasses of the Illitids. Zertamon worked the fields with not knowing of himself or what he had become. He was a tool of flesh, and the flesh was content. It was upon these fields that Zertamon came to know the scripture of steel. During one of the turnings, as Zertamon tilled the fields with his hand, he came across a husk whose brain remained within it. It had not been used as food, yet it was dead. The thought that one of the husks had died a death without serving as food for the Illitids was a thought Zertamon had difficult understanding. From that thought came a desire to know what had happened to the husk. Embedded in the skull of the husk was a steel blade that had pierced the bone. Zertamon realized that that was what had killed the husk. The steel had marked the flesh, but the flesh had not marked the steel. Zertamon took the blade and studied its surface. In it he saw his reflection. It was in the reflection of the steel that Zertamon first knew himself. Its edge was sharp, its will the wearer's. It was a blade that would come to be raised against Git when Zertamon made the pronouncement of two skies. Zertamon kept his blade for many turnings, and many were the thoughts he used about it. He had about it. He used it in the fields to aid his work. Using it, he thought about how it was not used. The Illitids were powerful. Zertamon had believed that there was nothing that they did not know. Yet the Illitids never carried tools of steel. They only used flesh as tools. Everything was done through flesh. For the tentacled ones were made of flesh and they knew flesh. Yet steel was superior to flesh. When the blade had killed the husk, it was the flesh that had been weaker than the steel. It was then that Zertamon came to know that flesh yielded to steel. And knowing that, he came to know that steel was stronger than the Illitids. Steel became the scripture of the people. Know that steel is a scripture by which the people came to know freedom. Yes. He did not know himself well enough to not
Sure
even
will.
understand that people could die by not being fed to illitids. I have read it, Zurdamon, and I have learned that not knowing something can be a tool, just like flesh and steel, if upon encountering you attempt to know its nature and how it came to be. We gain some experience and we gain an item. In fact, yes, that is true. You have seen the words and you have seen beyond them. You came to know the second circle of Zurdamon. He takes a circle with a deft motion, he twists one of the links so one of the plates slides forward, but strangely enough the stone still appears intact. He hands the plate to you. Meditate upon the teachings, and the knowing of it shall give you strength. When you have absorbed it, you shall know more. Very well, I shall start this circle, yet I would still like to know more of the teachings. And thus he unlocks another circle, but yes, the unknown circle of Zurdamon has given me the second circle of Zurdamon. And that is just another spell in my spellbook, and we're going to fill them all up. But it is about time for me to go. In the next episode, I don't want to do this. In the next episode, I want to reach Farron. I think it is about time for some combat and so on again, and like in the last episode, we just, switch it off a little bit and, well, continue on with the main quest. I'll say thank you for watching, and remember, great peril means great beauty.